going to have to fight. It's a perfect message for us. So the first question is, and I think of Tom Howe, because I expect him to ask me questions. Well, Lee, how are you going to stop war?
Well, Lee,
Well, we declare peace. That's what we do. That's what the president can do. It's easier than you think, actually, since no one's bothered to seek a declaration of war since World War II. So every conflict we're in right now, just like it was spoken into existence, can be spoken out of existence. I don't have to wait on Congress to ratify any treaties. I don't have to ask anybody's permission. As soon as my hand hits the Bible, I expect the Joint Chiefs of Staff to have in their hands exit strategies, ready to execute in 60 to 90 days, the time I take office. Should I be elected, of course. It's also going to be orders given to remove all troops from all stations around the world in non-combat areas, including Korea, Japan, Germany. Bring everybody home. By January of 2014, I expect the only troops to be abroad be embassy guards. When I take office, I will tell the world, I will tell America, our foreign policy exists of 5 words, no word longer than 3 letters. We are not at war. That is our foreign policy from now on. It'll also be directed that should we be directly attacked during this withdrawal, if our troops should come in danger because of direct attacks, it use all force necessary to protect those troops until we can get them home. That's just the beginning of it. I mean, the president has a lot of power, a lot of things that he can put a stop to. I'm not really looking to get elected president so I can do things. I want to undo things.
amen.
Things that are breaking this country. Every economist out there right now is talking about it. 3 things that are breaking this country economically are Social Security, Medicare, and the military. Can't just control spending. Can't reduce it. Can't freeze it. Anything frozen can be thawed out again. You got to stop spending. That's what we got to do. These are things that the president has control over and he can do. I know how it is to live with fear as well as war. Like I say, I grew up in the 60s. And a war in a jungle halfway around the world didn't seem so far away to a 6-year-old. And a daily dose of body bags, battlefields, supper time every night on all 3 channels. Children should not have to grow up that way. Shouldn't have to be scared to death turn 18 years old. Can't remember who wrote it, but I remember a quote. Worst time to become a parent is 18 years before war. It's true. Luckily for me, the Vietnam War ended about 2 years before I graduated high school. Of course, the first thing I did when I graduated high school was I joined the military. I served in the Air Force. I was able to serve in a way that I didn't have to bring harm to anyone. I was a medical services technician, did nursing duties. I was actually able to save some lives. But I also saw the after effects of war there as well. Young men in the wards, hardly a physical wound to them at all, but what it done to their minds. Changed young people into something they never would have been had it been for a thing called war. So let's put a stop to all of it, and let's start with ourselves. Make that conscious decision with me. Make that conscious, simple declaration. I am not at war. The enemy's not in this room. The enemy's outside this room. We can't even begin to think about stopping the wars halfway around the world until we can stop the wars inside a convention hall. So join me and let's do it together. I really look forward to running and going to these other conventions and representing North Carolina is my home, where I said it first, I will run for President of the United States. Now the hook. It turns out it's kind of expensive to run for president. Even if you do it the way Thomas Hill and I do it, you know, in a car, Motel 6s and whatnot from one end of the country to the other. But it still costs money to do it, of course, in a time where a tank of gas costs more than a room does. And it never used to be that way before. So I'm asking you today, if you can, to help us any way you can. The law only allows me to take $2,500 a piece from you, and I know you're disappointed by that. But that's only prior to the nomination. If I get the nomination, then you can give another $2,500. I also know times are hard, so don't expect a bunch of $2,500 checks. But anything you can do can help, trust me, in this day and time. Keep us on the road, keep us going from convention to convention, taking this message. I don't care who the presidential nomination is in 2014. I don't care who the nominee is for the Libertarian Party. This should be the message that he takes to America and to the rest of the world and tell them we are not at war. Of course, 10% of everything donated to the campaign is set aside and will go to ballot access so that we can have candidates on the ballot in all 50 states. We were proud last weekend to be able to give Arkansas a first installment of our ballot access plan. I was surprised to find out Arkansas is the only state in the union where no Libertarian candidate has ever been able to run for partisan office except president. So they're running a good ballot access drive right now, trying to get on the ballot so all their Libertarians can run. So we were happy to give to that. So rest assured, your money will be spent frugally. It will go to activism and not expenses. Nobody gets paid in this campaign, sorry. You know, you want a job, I'll give you one, but you don't get paid any more than I do. That's nothing, so. Anything you can do to help, we really would appreciate it. And thank you for your time today. It's wonderful to be home.
Somebody's gonna have forms, or who's collecting the money? You need
Thomas. Representative.
Brother Thomas,
Thomas, you're on call.